The Mega Man X series has gained appreciation and ire since its introduction to the SNES in 1993, changing little from the framework of the previous series because it simply didn't need to stay a competent game series in the future. Our Hero X is more mature looking, bigger, and better than ever, with a sophisticated, futuristic plot driving the stories behind each game. The battle between the Maverick Hunters and the Reploids has won my fanhood, and millions of others as well, and it continues in Mega Man X4, developed for the PlayStation by the good folks at Capcom. Another shout out to David in Ohio for this contribution. As I mentioned before, the framework of the Mega Man X series didn't change much from the Mega Man series, which has earned our Blue Buddy a loyal fan base that is growing every day. Before I started playing Mega Man X games, I was convinced that Sonic the Hedgehog was my favorite platformer, and now, well, no hard feelings, Sonic, but Mega Man has proved to be a worthy contender. The combination of semi-cartooniness, thrilling gameplay, and a storyline that involves war, genocide, and loyalty to your brethren appeals to adults as well as the elementary school-aged gamers. The plot of X4 is well presented in full animation cutscenes. It's the year 21XX, and a new initiative has been issued by Kane Laboratories to develop a military force called the Reploids to help the Maverick Hunters like X fight back against Sigma, should he ever rise again. Meanwhile, the leaders of the Repliforce, appropriately named General and Colonel, are acting a little shady, and it's later revealed that they're in cahoots with someone who is plotting the destruction of the Maverick Hunters. As a result, the floating city known as Sky Lagoon has been sabotaged and has fallen into a city below it, killing thousands. Colonel and General are now labeled as Mavericks, and as retaliation, they turn the Repliforce loose. This is where X comes in, with a little help from his good buddy Zero, the second time the red-armored, blonde-haired sword swinger appears as a playable character. This game is sophisticated in the way that you choose your weapons, boss order, and simply how you go about beating each level. The hardest part, in my opinion, is finding out what type of power you must use against each boss. For example, when you fight against Frost Walrus, who is probably the easiest boss in this game, just keep in mind that fire beats ice.
Serious.
Of course, to make it easier to defeat him, you have to beat Magma Dragoon, the traitor against the Maverick Hunters, who is, obviously, fire-based. Which in turn means that you have to find his weakness as well. Such is the beauty and the difficulty of X4, having to use strategy to defeat the Repliforce. Also keep in mind that all this changes when you play as Zero. Now, while X has about 11 ways in which to deal with his enemies, Zero has 6 abilities, not to mention his melee-only style of attack. It can be a bloody headache, to be honest, but that's why Mega Man has retained such a loyal following. It's not for noobs. I would highly recommend any part of the series to the first-time Mega Man player, especially to those like me who were raised on Sonic the Hedgehog and are looking for a more complex change of pace.